Hey everyone, welcome to another Figma tutorial. Figma recently updated auto layout with fantastic new features. Many of us struggled because along with new features, they also changed how things work. I have tried my best to make this tutorial easy to understand. In this video, I'll walk you through all things that are changed and newly added with tons of mobile and web design examples. Here's a quick glance over them. Starting with simple examples. To-do list with custom spacing, drop-downs, responsive tab bar, nested auto layouts, alerts with alignment hack, calendar, cards. Also on website, responsive web design, dynamic logos, and equal height testimonial section. Stick around and watch till the end or jump to specific examples using timestamps. A lot of efforts have gone into making this video. So I hope by end of this video you will be able to use auto layout like a pro. Let's get started. Before we begin, download and follow along with the practice file added in the description and the comment section. If you already know the basics, you can jump to the resizing and rearranging section from the timestamps below. For those who are new here, auto layouts lets you create dynamic frames or content without need to manually resize every time. To add auto layout, right click on layer, group or frame. Click on add auto layout. Figma automatically decides some properties. Let's take those in a moment. I'll fill color to make auto layout frame visible. Try changing the text. Our frame adjusts automatically. When we select multiple layers, you can click on the plus icon on the auto layout section on the right sidebar. Let's try changing default properties. We can change direction from horizontal to vertical and vice versa using these arrows. Middle number decides the spacing between each item. Let me change that to 40. The third value adds equal padding around the content. I'll make it 20. Here's a trick. If you hover over the property icons, you can simply left click and drag the handle to change the values. The last option is alignment and padding. I'll cover that in some time. Nesting and rearranging auto layout. Just like frames, we can nest auto layout, meaning you can combine multiple auto layouts together. For example, we can convert this button, name and description to auto layouts. Then add everything in new auto layout frame. Great. Now to create vertical list, just duplicate this row and add both in auto layout. Adjust the direction and spacing. Now you can make changes to any text and our design will adapt. Any new duplicate will also automatically have the same spacing. You can easily rearrange items by simply selecting and dragging them up and down, or using keyboard arrow keys. Resizing. Adjusting the auto layout frame. Resizing properties are now located below auto layout. Default behavior adjusts auto layout frame with content as it is tightly hugging the content. Hence the new name is hug contents. In this example, I added blue outline to make auto layout frame visible. When we modify the content, the auto layout frame simply wraps around it. Previously we saw how the auto layout frame adjusts itself as per content. In the second type, the content adjusts itself as per available frame size. Here's how it works. As soon as you modify the height or width, resize dropdowns change from hug contents to fixed. As you can see, the content didn't change by default. Let's change the first content box to fill container. As soon as we do that, it will consume all available space. Now if you try to resize the auto layout frame, the content will always adapt dynamically. If we make all content boxes to fill container, all content boxes will have equal height and width. If you need to adjust the spacing of any of the content box, you can simply resize it. Notice that it's changed to fixed width now. The rest of the content with fill container adjusts automatically with the frame. This is extremely useful for designing something like data tables and responsive content. Equal padding all around. We already had this feature. In previous version of auto layout, we had horizontal and vertical padding. Now we have only one property called padding around items. It adds equal padding on all four sides. In this example, the blue border is our auto layout frame. Yellow portion is our content and the white portion is padding. Try few values to understand it completely. Type 2. Individual padding. This is brand new addition. Sometimes we don't want equal padding on all sides. Now we can set up individual padding on each side. To do that, click on alignment and padding icon in auto layout. Now you can set any value of your choice in top, right, bottom and left edge. Alternatively, you can also add comma separated values for top, right, bottom and left in the padding setting. I have created to-do list using this feature in the example section. But before trying that, let's see two final properties of auto layout: alignment and distribution. Earlier, content alignment was here in the top section. Now we can access content alignment options by clicking on the same alignment and padding icon. It's useless when the auto layout frame is set to hug contents. It starts to shine when we manually set frame height or width. We have total 9 alignment points: top, right, bottom, left, center, top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. It affects all content pieces in auto layout frame. See this second example. See how alignment changes. If you want to treat everything as one piece of content, simply wrap it around the frame and see how behavior changes. Distribution. First, fixed spacing. It is the default behavior when we add auto layout to frame and resize it. Many times we don't have to use fill container resizing. We can just let content stay the way it is and modify the spacing if needed. We can check this property using alignment and padding icon. This fixed spacing is called as packed. Click on the distribution dropdown. Let's check the other one now. Type 2. Automatic equal spacing. Whenever we are designing responsive content, we want it evenly distributed within the frame. To do that, simply select the auto layout frame, click on the alignment and padding icon, change the distribution from packed to space between. Figma will override the fixed spacing to auto. If you change that to some value, it will revert back to packed. Similarly, you can change it from packed to space between simply by typing auto in spacing. This is time saver feature we can use to create responsive tab bars, menus, and lot of other design elements. Now we have covered all the basics. Let's create some examples using new auto layout features. Let's start with the simple things first. For tags, we can simply add auto layout and tweak the values. It's so easy to customize it with icons just by adding them into a frame. For Instagram stories and overlapping profile, you can just add auto layout. The only difference between these two is distribution option. Instagram stories is set to packed. I'm changing overlapping profiles to space between. Now you can just reduce the width of auto layout frame to create overlapping effect. Creating list is pretty easy too. I'm adding auto layout to whole selection. Complete the design by adding padding and tweaking the alignment. Indented to-do list. To create a to-do list, we will start by making checkbox rows auto layout. Now add all items together in auto layout. Change all of them to fill container horizontally. I want 5 pixel spacing in between to-do list items. But now the list is very close to the title. Now we can add individual padding. Select first to-do item. As it is auto layout, we can now change the top padding to something else. Quickly fix the alignment to left and vertically center. Add some checklist items. Some of them belong to the groceries. So you can now put them under that only by selecting all of them together and adding some left padding. Great. Now our indented to-do list is ready. Creating drop-downs can't be simpler. Just select the frames enclosing items and add auto layout. We can make drop-down dynamic by adjusting few values like alignment and padding. When we resize, the arrow is not moving. We can quickly fix that by changing distribution to space between. Now we can easily modify the content and look and feel. Evenly spaced tabs. Lots of other UI components can be created in the same way. Step 1 is to convert tabs into auto layout. Fix alignment. Now select the outside frame and convert it into auto layout. Try resizing. Make it evenly spaced by simply changing the distribution to space between or auto. Resize the frame again and see magic. Many times we need to create extended forms with lots of groups and input styles. I have input fields already with auto layout. Select the group title and inputs and add auto layout. Now duplicate to create another form group called billing info. We can add individual padding to the field above the group title to add extra spacing. We can now hide and show in text, add more group fields without manually adjusting the values. Alerts. This is one example. Alerts can have many variations. You can make all of those with few clicks. I already have two auto layouts on title description and text buttons. As soon as you turn on auto layout for the outer frame, everything aligns to the left. We cannot make buttons right aligned like this example because alignment settings affect everything. So there is one hack. Add text buttons to the new auto layout frame. Sets its resizing to fill container horizontally. Now simply change the alignment of this auto layout frame to right. Done. Resizing is working flawlessly. Create second variation of the card just by hiding description part. Create third variation by merely changing the direction of text buttons to vertical. I hope now you can see how powerful this feature is. Creating a custom calendar is super easy with auto layout. Start with the text layer inside a frame with constraints to keep it centered. Duplicate and add both layers into auto layout. Duplicate this text to create 7 columns. Adjust spacing. You can change the resizing to fill container or distribution to space in between to make calendar responsive. I'll keep it to fixed width for now. Now select the entire row and create a copy. Add both in auto layout and make sure that orientation is set to vertical. Duplicate to create 7 rows. Keep only one frame in the first row. Add arrows at both the ends. Set middle one to fill container horizontally. Fix alignment if needed. Rename it to month. Now modify days and dates. You can change the text color and background color to highlight today's date or selection, etc. The last step is to add just padding around it and our calendar is ready to use. Cards. Here we have title, description, time slots and text buttons in their respective auto layout frames. Let's convert this card into auto layout. Resizing to fixed width horizontally and hug contents vertically. I'll keep spacing to 0. Select the title and time slot frame and add them into auto layout. Add padding and spacing. Change the resizing of this frame, image and button to fill container horizontally. That's it. It now resizes wonderfully. You can create many variations now by simply hiding and changing some content. If you combine this with component variants, the possibilities are limitless. I'll link the component variants tutorial in the description below. Next, we'll check some web design examples. Making responsive design is piece of a cake now. Convert menu bar into auto layout frame. Adjust the alignment and set distribution to space between. Try resizing. Next, add our left content in auto layout. Change resizing of all text layers to fill container. The next step is to add both left content and image to new auto layout frame. Set spacing to match gutter width, which is 20 in this case. Change resizing to fill container for both of them so that they will take up equal spaces. The last step is to change constraints of outermost auto layout frame to left and right. We can now make responsive content in minutes. Let's check another example. We use this component many times. It's a pain when we have to add or remove any logos. We had to adjust everything again. Not anymore. Let's see how. I have some sample logos here. I have changed their constraints to center as I don't want them to scale with the content. Add few of them to our design. Add them to auto layout. Change all the logo sizing to fill container horizontally. Now we can simply add and remove logos and the content will adapt. Remember, We have to change the resizing of newer additions to field container too. Now we can freely move them around without worrying about the resizing and aligning them. Equal height testimonials section. Not all testimonials have equal content. We can now create consistent and responsive design in minutes. Here's we have a testimonial component with auto layout on. I'll duplicate it and create more entries. Modify some content. Now add all of them in auto layout. Adjust frame to the size of the grid. Select all the testimonials and change resizing to field container both horizontally and vertically. Change the spacing to our gutter width, which is 20 pixels. The last step is to bring username and designation down. Just change the main component's distribution to space apart. It will push the user downwards. Try resizing the design. It's incredible to see how just some controls can make our designs responsive. I hope this video was helpful and you can use auto layout like a pro now. Hit like and share this video if this was helpful. Provide your feedback in the comments below. Thanks for watching it. I'll see you in the next one.